Mark, the offense has been really humming. We talked about it the other night. Again, you go for season high in assists, and it seemed like it started from the very beginning. What did you see from the group in terms of the ball movement and passing?
Yeah, a lot of different attacks. We got a lot of different looks tonight. Some double teams, some blitzes, which is stuff we're going to need to be able to go against. I thought our attacks were really sharp. Thought we were fast up the floor on the misses and turnovers, and just played overall, team basketball.
You see guys like Ooze and Carlson and Dukas, and it seems like they step in totally in rhythm. How much of that do you attribute to the blue and just the way that they've attacked that program?
It's a little bit of everything. Like I mentioned with Carlson's minutes the other night, it's blue. It's high-intensity minutes in our practices when they're with us and they're not playing. And then it's taking these minutes seriously, them taking it seriously and us taking it seriously from an evaluation standpoint. I mentioned the other night, the confidence that we have to go to Carlson in that spot comes from the way that he performed and how consistently he performed across those platforms. And so those are valuable minutes for us, and those guys have done a great job.
Just announced that you and one of the coaches on staff is going to be coaching in the All-Star game. Just thoughts on that?
Yeah, an honor. Huge thank you to all the people that are behind the scenes on that in the organization that work with the players, not only this season but in previous seasons. Obviously, this has been a build, and a lot of people have their fingerprints on that, and so a huge thank you to them, and then a huge thank you to the assistant coaching staff, many of which have been here for a long time and put in a lot of work. Like David Daigneault has worked with Lou Dort for 6 years. That's a long, long relationship. A lot of games, a lot of workouts, a lot of pre-practice, pre-game, ups and downs. And so I'm happy to be able to share that with them because they've put a ton of work in over a long period of time, and we're honored to be able to do that.
And then Oos has played really good in these short spurts that he's been playing in recently. Just give your thoughts on how well he's been doing.
Yeah, he's had a good stretch of time between. He came off his injury, I thought, and was rusty. And then we used the blue minutes, like I told you guys after the Dallas game. He played more minutes in a 2-week stretch than anybody in the program, Thunder or Blue, and that allowed him to get kind of back up to baseline and playing the way he was playing before he got hurt. And he's done a nice job in his Thunder minutes since then.
Kind of tied into that, your second unit, no J-Dub tonight. You got to see what that unit looked without him kind of running things. Pleased with it?
Yeah, I thought so. The first half was a little rough for a couple minutes there, but in the fourth quarter, for sure, good sharpness and good job by Kaysen. I think Jay Will being a little bit of a hub and being able to connect the floor for us is huge in those minutes, and so we were able to kind of stress test parts of our system with dub out, and that was good.
Have you had a game where you forced more 24-second violations?
I don't know.
How
many was there? 4?
I had 5, but
yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. But
good one. Took away the initial point of attack and won some closeouts, and I was impressed. We didn't play the scoreboard tonight in the second half. That we really haven't. For much of the year, which is hard to do. It requires focus and commitment. And I thought we played all the way through tonight. Really, really defended hard and did so for close to 48 minutes.
This is Isaiah's best shooting month of the season so far, and he mentioned previously about getting used to taking different kinds of threes. What have you seen from him this month and kind of his shot quality in that?
Yeah, he's like all these other guys we've talked about, where we're willing to take a step backwards to take 2 steps forwards, and to this point he's been kind of a stationary shooter, which with Shea specifically is really powerful, with the gravity Shea has just to throw it to him in the quad and have him fire. But we think there's more there because of his speed, his motor, and his shooting gravity, and so we've put him on the move more, run more stuff through him. First play of the game tonight's a good example of that. And it takes a little calibrate. It is different, and so he went through a little bit of growing pains there and has since caught a good rhythm and, had another night like the New York night tonight where he just strung together a bunch of shots and really opened the game up very early for us.
You talked about him before the game, but another night for Jay Will where seemed to really just do a little bit of everything for you guys. What impressed you the most about him?
Yeah, good job defensively. He's on the charges again. but he's also like learning how to be a rim protector too. You know, the charges early in his career were a little bit of a deterrent for his ability to kind of dissuade stuff at the rim, and he's got a nice balance of that. He's learning in that part of the game as a help defender. He's learning his pick and roll stuff. He went and blitzed Russell a couple times tonight in the third, and he's learned how to mix that look into his bag as a pick and roll defender. And then offensively, like I said, he connects the floor. He had a play early in the game where Lou had the ball left wing, and he's like calling for the ball in transition, and Lou threw it to him, and he zips it over to Isaiah Joe. And I just don't know if there's a lot of players that are like barking for the ball so that they can pass, but he's one of them.
Yeah, Mark, do you know which assistant is going to be joining you at the
I think it's the
All-Star
whole
week?
staff, but I've never done this before, so I have no clue.
Mark, I know the G League and the NBA are two different things, but could you sort of compare and contrast guys like Kaysen and Caruso, just having them as early, younger guards?
Say that one more time.
Just comparing and contrasting. You had Caruso very early on in the G League.
Oh,
and
with
then
the G League?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're different. Different players, but both similar in that, you know, they have a skill set that's like highly impactful, like right off the bat. You know, so like they could go in the game really the first day that they're in the NBA or they're professional basketball players because of, you know, the defense, the motor, the discipline, and then offensively they play inside of their game. And yet it doesn't prevent them from becoming better offensive players. You know, that's just their starting point. But they're so solid. You know, they've both at a young age, they were able to, like I said, go out there and absorb a lot of minutes without hurting the team. They're very additive.
They threw some zone at you. When you're shooting well, everything, I guess, looks good. But did you like the shots that you were getting in against the zone?
Yeah, like I said, I thought we got a good menu of attacks tonight. They threw a lot of different stuff at us. They were running at Shea. They were doubling Shea in the pick and rolls, and then they zoned us. So we had a nice mix. They switched a little bit. We had to go through a lot of different, you know, menu items for us. I thought we did a pretty good job. The zone, I thought our step forward in zone was in that Cleveland game. You know, they zoned us in Cleveland on the road late. We struggled against it. We came back home. They zoned us again. We really had great attacks against it, got great shots, and then we continued that tonight when Brooklyn went to it.
Anybody else?
All right, thank you.